God gave me this platform. I already know I'm going to win.
China did our vote. Biden and Harris would say, hey, we're here to protect the country, and resign.
Mike Lindell's a conspiracy.
But you haven't.
Just forget about the evidence. This was attacked.
Conspiracy theorist Mike Pillow recently, well, not recently, he had put out a bet. Prove me wrong. It's a challenge. The Prove Me Wrong challenge when it comes to his data on election fraud. Turns out someone took him up on that challenge and won. And now Mike Pillow has been ordered to pay up. According to a recent report by CNN, Pillow CEO Mike Lindell has been ordered to shell out $5 million to an expert who debunked his data related to the 2020 election, according to a decision by an arbitration panel. Lindell, according to the article, a purveyor of election conspiracies, had vowed to award a multi-million-dollar sum to any cybersecurity expert who could disprove his data. And of course, someone took a bump on it. And there you go. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
You idiot.
All right. So the person who disproved Mike Pillow is a man named Robert Zaidman, who has for decades been in software development and has, again, experience. He said, challenge accepted. Oh, you're going to give me $5 million? Okay. Yes, I will disprove it. And then he disproved it. Oops. So Lindell, Lindell, he's a cheapskate. He decided, I'm not going to pay the money, even though, again, literally disproved my data. And so Zaidman filed a lawsuit, and it went to arbitration, and it won. Hilarious. Super hilarious. The hits came on coming. The self-inflicted hit. Mike Pillow is basically punching himself in the face. Nobody forced him to put out that challenge. Nobody forced him to actually make it contractual. But he did it because he thought, what are you I know my data. It's the best data. Let me tell you, we have all of this evidence from China. China hacked our elections, and I can prove it. I've got everything. Except that you don't. So I'll give you the details, right? According to the deposition, based on foregoing analysis, Mr. Zaidman performed under contract. He proved the data Lindell LLC provided and represented reflected information from November 2020 election, unequivocally did not reflect November 2020 election data. Failure to pay Mr. Zaidman the $5 million prize was a breach of contract entitling him to recover. Oops. So basically what that means is that the data that they had said was from the election that they gave to Zaidman wasn't the actual data from the election. What did they give him? I don't know. So now, Brian Glasser, founder of Bailey & Glasser LLP, who represented Zaidman, said this: the lawsuit and verdict mark another important moment in the ongoing proof that the 2020 election was legal and valid, and the role of cybersecurity in ensuring that integrity. Lindell's claim to have 2020 election data has been definitively disproved. So, actually, that's a great thing, because knowing that Mike Pillow was able to somehow get access to election data, I mean, that would be an obvious security issue. Apparently, he didn't actually get access to real election data, which tells me either he got something that he thought was data, or something that someone had told him was data, but they had manufactured, or that Pillow himself had it manufactured for him. I don't know. Don't know. All I know is that it wasn't real. It was disproven, and there you go. Now, in a brief phone call with CNN, however, Lindell said, this will end up in court, and then went after the media and said he's going to get rid of the machines. I got to get rid of the machines. You understand? See, I got this guy. Apparently, he thinks he's John Connor now. Yeah, I have to stop the machines. You don't understand. We've got to stop Judgment Day. No, dude, you watch too much Terminator. Good movie. Also, Terminator 2, great movie. Not reality. You're not fighting against Skynet, bro. What's going on? Like you're insane. You're not dealing in reality, in data, or evidence.
Just forget about the evidence.
Oh, that's right. So, look, again, the basis of this case is simply contractual, okay? Zaidman signed a contract that Pillow had put out and signed as well, agreed to the terms, and found that, again, Lindell's data wasn't actual real data. It was just nonsense. It was gibberish. So the arbitration panel said, look, we're not looking at whether or not the data, because we're not data experts. We're just looking at the fact that there was a contract. You said you were going to award them $5 million to disprove the data, and, well, they did. And so I guess you owe them $5 million. And here's what the arbitration panel said. The contest did not require participants to disprove election interference, just whether or not the data is legitimate. Thus, the contestants' task was to prove the data presented to them was not valid data from the November 2020 election. The panel was not asked to decide whether China interfered in the 2020 election. Insane. Nor was the panel asked to decide whether Lindell LLC possessed data that proved such interference, or even whether Lindell LLC had election data in its possession. The focus of the decision is on the 11 files provided to Mr. Zaidman on the context of the contest rules. Well, now the panel's decision also went through each of the data files, provided Zaidman, determining repeatedly that the data was unrelated to the 2020 election. So where did the data come from? Whose data is it? What is it? I have no idea, but I know it's nonsense. Gobbledygook. And by the way, for Lindell, I think it's pretty obvious that he didn't have real evidence to present because there was no evidence to present. It just wasn't. He's an armchair expert. That's all he is. Look, people like Lindell see things that they don't understand, think, oh, see, it must be fraud. You know why? Because they're conspiracy theorists. And they do this a lot, by the way. It's not just about this election fraud stuff. The far right conspiracy theorists have been doing this for a long, long time. They've been doing this with biology and climate science. Remember, Todd Aiken's legitimate rape, right? Oh, yeah, well, if it's a legitimate rape, a woman can't get pregnant. No, that's not reality. That's not science. There's no evidence there. Why would you think that? You don't believe in facts. You're an armchair expert. You think, no, I know everything. I know how this works. But you don't know it all. Another example of this. James, I have a snowball that disproves climate change in Hoff. Hey, look, I'm an expert. What are you talking about? I know everything. I know everything. I know it all. And I know more than the so-called experts. I mean, come on. Experts, yeah. Oh, you academics. How dare you try to say that you know more than me? Wait, that's objectively true. That's why they're experts. Because they specialize. It blows my mind. Look, people like Lindell are pseudo experts who do not know the first thing about what they're talking about. They really don't. And look, the issue here is not necessarily the ignorance. Ignorance can be cured with knowledge. But the thing that I have a problem with the most is the unearned confidence when you are wrong. Oh, no, I'm the smartest person in the world. What are you talking about? I'm not only the smartest person in the world, but you are wrong, and all your evidence is wrong. And somehow it's manufactured by lizard people. And that's why. Or
Jewish space lasers.
I don't know. But all I know is that I'm correct. And the data, again,
Just forget about the evidence.
no evidence, no data. I believe what I believe, and I know that I'm right. It's in my gut. No, that's probably, something you ate earlier. That's what that feeling in your gut is. You might want to do something about that.
They call them dumps, big, massive dumps.
That's all they're spouting. Endless amounts of bullshit. That's their evidence. So look, it's funny when somebody comes around and corrects them and embarrasses them with facts and logic and knowledge and reality. It's fun to see. It really is. But at the same time, you have to understand that, not people like Lindell who actually don't really have a lot of power, but you have people in Congress, who are elected to government that do hold these beliefs or profess to believe in these things and do massive amounts of harm to other human beings and the environment. And that's quite distressing. Now, as for embarrassment, when it comes to Lindell, it's the second time he's been embarrassed by Zaidman, but certainly will not be the last time that he's embarrassed by someone who is smarter than he is. Because there's a lot of people who are way smarter than he is. One last thing. Will Zaidman actually get the money? That is an open question. Look, it's not like my pillow is doing very, very well. There's only so many pillows chuds can buy. There's only so many pillows that one person or a small group of people can keep buying from this guy to keep him in business. Lindell was on Bannon's podcast, Steve Bannon, another grifter, saying that his company had to take out $10 million in loans. And by the way, he is being sued by, Dominion and Smartmatic. And so, along with that, he's lost business. There's a lot of places that will no longer run his advertisements anymore. And so he looks like he's in quite a world of financial hurt. But hey, look, play stupid games, win stupid prizes.